Greetings everyone. Today we're going to explore writing a linear equation from 2 points or a table. For this you'll want to have a notes sheet to help you with the examples in the notes, so make sure you have that and pause the video until you're ready. Alright, let's take a look at some steps first. To write the equation of a line given 2 points or a table, step 1, you want to find the slope between 2 points. So, just for a refresher in our notes, let's add the formula for finding slope between 2 points. Remember that it's y minus y over x minus x. Sometimes I've told you just draw the 3 lines and always start with your y value, and then the pattern will fall into place. Or remember from a table, you're going to have an xy and an xy value, and you want to find the change, whether it be plus or minus, of the y's, so the change in y's over the change in the x values. Step 2, using that slope and one of the points, you're going to write the equation of a line in point-slope form. So let's remember what that is. We're going to create that template. Remember, it's y minus y1 equals the m you previously found, parentheses x minus x1, close your parenthesis. So remember, let's underline that one of the points, you get to pick which one, is going to go in for y and x. Don't forget to change the sign when you put it into the equation. And don't forget that x goes with x. And the y value goes with y. Okay? So take a moment to add those to your notes. Step 3, if you're asked to or if needed, you're going to isolate the y, which will write the equation of the line in slope-intercept form. So let's take a look at what that would do. For example, if I have this equation, okay, I would distribute first. Okay, that would take care of my right side. So I have a 3x and a 15. Then you'd need to add 2 to both sides. So then we're going to move constant by adding or subtracting. That gets me to y equals 3x plus 17. So now this is slope-intercept form, whereas we started with point-slope form. Now some of you already have been choosing to write it in slope-intercept form. That's great. That means this will actually go pretty quick for you. All right, let's take a look at the example that is provided in your note sheet. We want to write the equation of a line that goes through the points 2, 3, and 5, 6. So if I take a look at that, my step 1 is I want to find the slope between the 2 points. So remember, line, line, line. I need to pick a y value first. So I'm going to pick the first one, followed by a y value, followed by matching up the x value and matching up the x value. So if it's helpful, label xy, xy. Let's calculate that. I have a negative 3 over a negative 3. Divide, you have to simplify. We've been struggling with that a little bit. So make sure when you divide negative 3 by negative 3, I get a positive 1. M equals 1. Step 2 is to write an equation. So I'm going to set up my point-slope form, which is y with a space, x with a space. Okay, my m always goes in front of my x. Start with that. Then we need to pick a point. It doesn't matter which point you choose. Okay, I'm going to pick the first one only because it's first. So 2 comma 3, x, y. So that means the x value is 2, but I have to change the sign. And my y value is 3, but I have to change the sign. If you're struggling with this step 2, then you'll want to watch the previous lessons video on writing equations given information. That'll be another resource for you. Now, it doesn't say which way to write the line. If I just say write the equation of the line, you can be done. Okay? You don't have to go a step further. So my final, if I was to get rid of all these lines, would look like this. Let's take a look at the second example on your notes sheet. I want to write the equation of a line given the table. So that means for step 1, I need to find the slope, which is the change in y over the change in x. So looking at my table, I need to figure out my jumps. Remember, pick numbers, coordinate values that are next to each other. Remember, choose to either both go down or both go up. Direction doesn't matter as long as it's consistent. So to go from from 4 to -6, that's actually a jump of -10. To go from -3 to -2, that's a jump of +1. Remember to use a number line, right? If I'm at 4 and I go left to -6, that's a change of 10. Left, so it's negative. Okay? So the change in y is -10. The change in x is +1. If I divide those, m equals -10. Step 2, write the equation of your line. I don't say how, so you can leave it in point-slope form. A y number, slope, parentheses x, and an x number. My slope goes in front of the x every time. My point, you get to pick a point. So just because it's first in the table, I'm going to pick the top one. So that means I'm going to pick -3, 4. Which number is the x value? -3. But instead of negative, I put a +3. Instead of +4 with the y, I put a -4. So I don't need to do step 3 because I didn't say how to. But let's practice. If I'm asked to write it in slope intercept form, then I need to distribute first. So I keep the y -4, but I now have a -10x and a -30. I distributed the -10. Next, I want to add 4. Well, I can only add it to the other constant, right? I can't add a 4 to an x number. So there was a little bit, watch out for this step. This has been missed a lot in our notes and in our worksheets. So a -10x remains, but now I have a -26. So this is my equation in slope intercept form. Let's take a look at another example. This one has a unique property that happens. So let's start with our step 1. That means I need to find the slope between 2 points. I have xy, xy. So what do I pick first? A y value. So y, y, x, x. That gets me 0 over -5. Do not leave your answers like this, okay? Some of you have left them like that in the past, with 0 on top or 0 divided by anything. Remember, that's our OK shortcut, which means m equals 0. That means I'm gonna visualize this for a second. Say, I'm gonna draw a sketch. You don't have to if you don't want to. That means if I'm at 0, 3, I'm here. And if I'm at 5, 3, that means I'm here. Look at that line. that line is horizontal through the value of 3 on the y-axis. Okay, so that is a special equation. When you have a 0, it's special. Okay, so just think about that. I have a special equation. We've talked about these before. This one goes through y at 3. Okay, we've talked about this before. Here's the pattern, guys. Here's your hint that you can kind of use as a shortcut or a cheat. Look at your y values here. Same y values at 3. Notice that pattern, meaning, let me just do a quick little side example. If I had 110 and I had negative 5010, if the y's are the same, that'd be y equals 10. Isn't that handy? The same applies. Let's visit this. What if I have 2 comma 3 and I have 2 comma negative 5? The x's are the same. So guess what? It's x equals 2. So if you have a 0, it's special. If you have the same x coordinates or the same y coordinates, it's special. So keep an eye out for those. You're going to have some of them. Take your time, think about it, and use your notes. Or if that's still troublesome, draw a picture. If you're a visual learner, that'll be very helpful. Okay? So going into this example, take a look. If I started finding the slope, right? And I'm saying, okay, step 1, line, 6, negative 4, and then I see negative 2, negative 2. Just writing that, okay? That tells me, hey, my x values are both negative 2. Okay, let's say you didn't see that right away and you kept solving. You would have 10 over 0, which is a no. So that means my m is undefined, which means it's a vertical line. If it's a vertical line, it goes through the x-axis at negative 2. You don't even have to show me that work, you guys. If you see that the x values are the same and you circle them like I am in green, I'm okay if you just jump straight to x equals negative 2. Okay, but you have to remember that. So are you good at memorizing, or are you good at figuring things out? Or are you better at drawing a picture? That's still an option here. So if I wanted to draw a picture, negative 2, 6 would be up here. Negative 2, negative 4 would be down here. Then I can see that line of x equals negative 2. Whatever works for you, show me your thinking. Quick review from last lesson. You don't have to write this down, but if I'm looking to write the equation of a line, I have some options. If I want to start with slope intercept form, I need a slope and I need an intercept. In this case, my slope, rise 1, 2, 3, 4, run 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I didn't even need to do that. That'd be 4 over 4, which is 1. So some of you might have saw that a little bit quicker, but I'm used to counting larger numbers. My y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. So that's a 2. But let's say you wanted to do point slope form. Point slope form is y and a value, x and a value, and a slope. Well, guess what? My slope is still 1, but now I could use any point. Let's say I want to use 1, 3. That would be a minus 1 for my x value and a minus 3 for my y value, x, y. Or I could do a different point slope. Let's say I want to use the other point that is written on the graph. I could use, let's see, 5, 7. My x value is 5, make it the other sign. My y value is 7, change the sign. My slope is still 1. Okay? So again, if you are not told how to write your line, You all on this problem, every one of you could have a different answer, and you could still all be right. All right, one more review, one quick. Don't have to write this down, but what I would like is for you to pause this video and on some scratch paper off to the side, if your notebook, wherever you can, I want you to practice writing the equation of this line. Then I want you to compare with a neighbor to see if you wrote the same line, and if you didn't, check each other's work. So please pause the video now. All right, now because there's so many options, I'm just going to write up a bunch of options for line equations. I'm not going to go through the explanation. If you need more help, watch the previous lessons video. So my first option could be another option could be to include a 0. Another option could be another option could be another option. Another option. Oops, let me fix that. Sorry. Y minus 2 x plus 3. There are a few more options, but those are the ones that would most commonly be chosen just based on that graph here. So if you struggled or you didn't get one of those, then make sure to ask for help, ask a neighbor, or watch the previous video. All right, so as we take a look at writing an equation from a set of points, whether they be points or written in the table, we need to make sure that we have our notes taken care of. We need to check Google Classroom and see what assignment goes with this lesson. What do we have to complete? Once you're done with that assignment, if you have any other work, take a look at previous work. Make sure you check out PowerSchool. Are you missing anything? And then ask questions. Remember, you can ask me. You can ask another teacher that you connect with. You could go to the Saber Center and ask for help. You could ask a friend, okay? Work together, talk it out. You have so many options if you're struggling. So take care of yourself, take care of the work that needs to be done, and until next time, have a good one.